And so, I hope you are ready to hop into tonight's text on the Church of Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a word you probably, or a city you know about probably, but not in the context of what we're going to be talking about tonight. I don't know about you, but one of the worst things in the world, for me, is the inability to get in somewhere. I have a very bad habit when I was a kid that my mom was a school teacher, and when I was a kid, I would sometimes get home before she would because she drove a bus, and I had friends who would drop me off and all this fun stuff, and I would get home, and I'd reach in my pocket and take my keys out. And what would I not have in my pocket? Keys. And this happened a lot to me probably between the ages of 12 and 13. Because I didn't have after-school sports, and so I would get done with school and get home and have nothing. All right, 12 to 13, I was yay tall, yay big around, and lived in Mississippi. Okay? It was hot. And to not be able to get into your house after school when it was like 90,000 degrees, yes. It was hot! And it would frustrate me so badly that I couldn't get in the houses. Now the tables have turned in my life. I'm the adult. I have to be able to get into my house. There's one problem. I have children. It's not a problem, but it is for this scenario. And if you've ever been to my house, which some of you have been to my house, my children don't understand what a closed door means. If you close the door, let's say you decide you're going to the restroom, and you close the door. My children determine that the door is closed, that means they should open it. What's worse is when you lock the door. Somebody's in here. I gotta go potty! I don't want to hit you with the chair, I'm sorry. So you just beat on the door. And then you open the door. You're like, I just want 5 seconds of silence. Those of you that are parents understand that a lot of times you really actually don't even have to go to the restroom. You just close the door and you wait for everybody else. You just go in a room and you close it and you lock it. Sometimes you sit on the floor and cry. And you're just like, leave me alone.
Paul's laughing a little too hard back here.
I'm sure Paul has never gone into the bathroom to lock himself away from everybody else, I'm sure. And so, but this is just part of life. Doors being open and being closed is part of life. I'm sure some of you have seen that picture before of the door that says pull, and you're pushing on it.
Yeah.
You seen that?
Yeah.
Some of you probably have personal experience with that too, sounds like Gavin does. But I just something about doors that defeats us. That makes no sense. That a door would defeat you. It goes this way and this way. Not a hard thing. But we have been defeated by doors. Defeated by doors because we can't get in them. Defeated by doors because we can't keep people from opening them. And tonight we're going to hear Jesus talk about a door. Jesus is going to tell them about this door that's in front of them, and he's going to tell them the door is wide open. And so we're going to look tonight at the Church of Philadelphia. There are 2 churches of the 7 that Jesus doesn't say anything bad to. The Church of Philadelphia is one of them. So hopefully you're in Revelation chapter 3 already. Revelation chapter 3, we'll be reading from God's Word, so I ask you to stand. Revelation 3, verse 7 through 13, it will be on the wall. You can use your Bibles or your smartphones or your dumb Android phones or whatever you choose to use. I know. All right, starting in verse 7. When the Bible's open, your mouth is shut. Read that. Here we go. It says, and to the angel of the church of Philadelphia write, the words of the Holy One, the true one, the one who has the key of David, who opens and no one will shut, who shuts and no one opens. I know your did not deny my name. Behold, I will make those in the synagogue of Satan who say that they are Jews and are not, but lie. Behold, I will make them come and bow down before your feet, and they will learn that I have loved you. Because you have kept my word about patient endurance. I will keep you from the hour of trial that is coming on the whole world, to those who dwell on the earth. I am coming soon. Hold fast what you have, so that no one may seize your crown. The one who conquers, I will make him a pillar in the temple of my God. Never shall he go out of it. And I will write on him the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, the new Jerusalem, which comes down from God out of heaven. And I will write my own new name. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. Father, tonight as we've opened your word, God, as we begin to look at this text, God, I pray that you will open our hearts. God, that you will do as verse 13 says, God, you will open our ears so that we may hear. God, that we would understand the power that our God has and his desire to be united with us. Father, we thank you and we love you. It's in Christ that we pray. Amen. There's a myriad of things tonight that we can jump into to look at in this text. There's a bunch of different information that we can see, but there's some very specific things we need to find out about the city of Philadelphia first. Philadelphia has this very specific meaning. It is the city of brotherly love. We have Philadelphia in the United States. Philadelphia is all over the country. It means the city of brotherly love. That comes from the concept of the word phileo, which is love of your brother or love of your sister. It's a kind of love that's not ooey-gooey. It's a kind of love like, I like you a lot because we're related. Now, some of you don't like people a lot that you're related to. I apologize for your struggle. Okay? But this is the way it's set up. It means the city of people who really genuinely care for each other. It's not, again, a lot of times talk about love, we want to get all ooey-gooey. It's not that kind of, oh, no, you hang up. No, you hang up love. It's not that kind of thing. We're looking at a respectful love for people that you're close to. Its major source of income was grapes and wine, which makes sense when you look at the god it worshipped. Dionysus, which was the god of wine. Or some of you that have studied mythology stuff, also the god of the party. Okay? The god of the festivals. The god of the get down, get crazy, and you'll feel bad about it tomorrow. It was surrounded by volcanoes. Okay? Made it a very volatile place. If you ever lived where there's volcanoes, like maybe Hawaii. And I did say Hawaii instead of Hawaii. Anybody? Nobody. We don't have a whole lot of active volcanoes here. You have. I'm sorry, you didn't raise your hand very high. You're the higher? Hi. Okay. Like 2, 3, 7, 22. What? And so it's a very volatile area, very explosive area. That is supposedly why it was so great in making grapes. Because the soil was very fertile because of the ash. Okay? Now here's something you need to know. It was considered the greatest city in all of ancient times when it came to grapes and wine, which made Rome mad. Because Rome wanted to be the center of all attention. And so this is what happened. The emperor from Rome sent down a decree that the entire city of Philadelphia had to pull up their vineyards and burn them. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Let's see here. Let's just pick. Mr. Rob, how do you do? Mr. Rob, would you like to tell everybody what you do for a living? Fight fire. Fight fire. Now, what if we just said, all right, world, fire is outlawed. Fire doesn't exist where you can't burn anything with cold fusion. I don't know, that's making up. I just totally made that up. You posed the question, I didn't know how to answer. And so let's just say that we say fire is not possible anymore. Fire will be taken from this world. Would that upset you? You would be upset. It would be the same way as if let's say, I'm not seeing him in here. I was going to pick on Xavier since he got him a new job, but I don't see him here. Let's say Xavier's going to be an X-ray tech, right? No?
An ER.
ER tech, my bad. What if they just said hospitals didn't exist anymore? No more hospitals! Just get rid of them. You'd be angry. You'd be upset. You'd be broken. Some of you would be dead. Yes. But the way the people felt in Philadelphia was like, you just took away everything we had. You just took away all that we were. Thank you, Rome. And so, as we look at this text tonight, that will explain some of how they felt about some of the stuff. But we got to start off, though, with the most important part, and that is who is speaking to them. There are three distinctive things that describe the speaker. The first one he said is that he is holy. He is holy, which just means he's without blemish. He has nothing wrong with him. There's nothing on him. There's no spots. The other day, Cameron put on this white shirt that she would wear around the house. Go change clothes. She sat down. She wore it for 30 minutes. She sat down and ate supper, and guess what she did? She spilled stuff on it. It's a white shirt. Jesus has no spots, no stains. He's holy. There's nothing on him. There's not even a speck on him. He was perfect. That's what it means to be holy. It means to be set apart, to be away from the gross and the nasty. And in the next description it gives here, it says, he is true. There is no falsehood in Jesus. Now, this is interesting because there are other faiths and other religions that will say Jesus is a really cool guy. He's a really nice guy. But he's not God. Now, let me ask you a question. If a man comes and he tells you that he's God, he tells you that he's going to die for you, and that he's not God, and he doesn't die for you, is he a very good man? No! He's mean and cruel and a liar. And so Jesus puts it all aside, puts it all to rest, and he says, I am the truth. I am the one who speaks truth. And not only does he say that, but he says, he is the key of David. He is the key of David, which means he is the keys to the kingdom. Because we'll see next week how there's another illustration of a door that talks about he knocks at the door, and if you open it, he comes in. Well, Jesus says, I'm the doorkeeper in this thing. I'm the one that determines whether or not the door is open or closed, and I have the keys to heaven. And I have the keys to the kingdom, and I will unlock it for you. So he just lays it out there, and the first thing he says to him, he says, I'm holy, I'm truth, I'm the key, and because I'm the key, your door is open. He says, your door is open. How does Jesus have the authority to open the door? He's the key. Makes sense to me. He says, I open the door. Why is this important to them? This is the point on the screen. Click it. There we go. How does this make sense? Well, this is what they saw. The people of Philadelphia were the party scene. Right? Everybody was coming knocking on their door saying, can we come in? Can we come hang out? Can we come be a part of your craziness? And all of a sudden, everything that was crazy about them was taken away and ripped away. And all of a sudden, they felt like they were excluded, like nobody wanted them, like nobody had cared for them. And Jesus says, I care for you. The door's open. Come on in. In fact, he says, I open the door and nobody can shut it. He says, but if I shut the door, nobody can open it. That's a strong door dude there. Nobody can open it. Nobody can close it without my authority. What does that tell us about Jesus' authority in heaven?
It's really, really strong.
That's it. He's the only one you can get in with, and he's the only one who can keep you out. You're like, oh, well, I'm going to go to heaven because I'm going to do good things. I'm going to do right things. I'm going to come to church, and I'm going to read my Bible. And Jesus says, listen, you can bring the 48 different translations of the Bible. You can bring your Sunday school lessons. You can bring the thing that says you went to camp. You can bring your baptism certificate. I'm the only one who can let you in. And so, understanding all that, understand that Jesus himself says, it's me that keeps you in or out of that. Not church attendance. Not going to camp. Not how pretty you are or how smart you are. He said, I'm the one who opens. But why is Jesus opening the door? Well, he says, because you're weak. He says, you're weak, you can't open the door. He very much plainly says to you, if I open the door, it's open. You can't do it by yourself. 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in your weakness. Therefore I will boast all more gladly of my weakness, so the power of Christ may rest upon me. The hardest part for you in life is to admit that you fall short. It's to admit that you can't do something on your own. Because we've trained you in our culture to be self-sufficient. Like, I struggle right now with the fact that my 7 and 5-year-old can't do things that I'm like, come on, you're 75. You should be doing this kind of stuff. You should be cooking and cleaning. You know, you should be, like, listen, this is first instance, okay, I'm just going to tell you. My poor, sweet, little bitty Georgia. Kid can't open toothpaste. Okay? And it's not a screw-on toothpaste. It's a toothpaste. And I was like, why can't you do that? I can't do it, Daddy. And even when they get the toothpaste open, they can't even get toothpaste out of it. I'm like, how are you? Of course, now she's 5. But in my mind, I'm going, how are you going to function in life? How are you going to go to college if you can't open up toothpaste? You know, it's just this mentality that evidently we need help. You and I are not strong enough. And Jesus says, I am. Lean on me. It may frustrate the snot out of me that I have to go turn the water on for her or open up the toothpaste. But at least she understands that if she can't do it, she knows who can. And Jesus says, you can't do it on your own. You can't open this door. But I'm strong enough to do it for you. He says, not only are you weak, though, I want to throw a new word into your vocabulary tonight. You're worldly. Not worldly, worldly. It's not in the dictionary, I made it up. Okay? You're worldly. He says that you have kept my word. 2 Thessalonians 2:15 says, so then, brothers, stand firm and hold to the traditions that you were taught by us, either by our spoken word or by our letter. Hey, if the door's open, you know what you're doing? You're doing something right. If Jesus says the door's open, the door's open because you're living according to his plan. And he said, I'm going to keep this open for you. You're allowed in here. You're part of me. By living wordly. I read this article today. Talking about 5 things that every person thinks is in the Bible that's not. I don't know if any of you saw that. It was on Facebook. It was sliding around. Maybe it's just crazy people like me to read it. But one of them is, God helps those who help themselves. Did you know that's in the Bible? It's not. It's not. And another one that's in the Bible is that pray and you will be given. That's not. I thought that was in there. Is that not Second Opinions 3:12? Oh, then this one has to be one. This one has to be one, right? This has got to be in the Bible. God will never give you more than you can handle. Is that? I think that's in Oprah. Chapter 4. This idea, though, that we think we're going to live by these cute little pithy sayings. You know what pithy means? It means short. We're going to live by these little sayings because they're in the Bible, right? They got to be in there. The understanding is no. We have grown into a culture who lives by opinion. We have grown into a culture that lives by popular thought instead of being a group of people who live on the Word of God. And Jesus says, He says, you've kept my word, people of Philadelphia, thank you. And because you've done it, the door is open to you. It's about Jesus saying to you, this is the Word. If you look at the understanding in the Scripture, He says, you've kept my words. Keep that. Thank you. He says, you keep my words. John 1:1 says the Word became flesh. Jesus says, guess what you're doing by staying in the Word? You're staying in me. You're knowing me. You're relying on me. You're trusting on me. But it's not just being weak and being worldly, but He says you're unwavering. He says, when all of the struggles came, you didn't fall apart. You didn't run away from the struggle. He says you stuck with it. He said you didn't deny my name. In Hebrews 10:23 says, let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for He who promised is faithful. We hold fast in Scripture because we know that Jesus is true. But not only does He say the door is open, He tells them, your challenge will be defeated. Your challenge will be defeated. He says, behold, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan who say they are Jews but are not. They lie. I will basically, what He says to the people of the synagogue of Satan, He says, oh, you think there's something. They think there's something. I will show them they're nothing. The last thing in the world you want God to have to do is to forcefully show you something. For God to give me patience. No. He will give it to you by putting you through a really difficult time. You don't ask for that kind of stuff because tribulation is not something you want to face. It will be defeated. He says, those that attack you will one day submit to you. Here's the beauty of being a follower of Christ. I've shared this with you a couple of times because there are references in Revelation over and over and over about being given a crown. So one day, if you're a follower of Christ, you're going to be a prince or a princess. And you're going to rule with Jesus. Some of you may want to be both. But you're going to rule with Jesus. And those who have denied Christ will submit to your rule. They will fall beneath you. And this is my favorite part, the fact that Jesus says your challenge will be defeated, is that Satan will lose. If you've got a pen in your hand or a pencil or a highlighter on your smart device, Romans 16:20 is a verse you need to know. It says, the God of peace will soon crush Satan underneath your feet. You just think about that for a second. Satan, the most evil being that has ever existed, will be crushed beneath your feet. Now, I don't wear shoes often, so I got smelly feet. But being put under someone's foot is a sign of submission. And so one day, even Satan will be submitted to the authority of Jesus. He tells them, though, that you will be spared. He says, you're not going to be defeated. You're going to win. You're going to be spared the tribulation. I don't know if you've ever sat down and looked into the book of Revelation. It's kind of scary. Dragons, beasts, pestilence, death. All kinds of crazy stuff is going to happen. And what he says is, he says, you will be spared from the great tribulation. You will not face my wrath. He tells the church of Philadelphia, you will not face my wrath. You think your parents have ever gotten angry? The wrath of God is like your parents' anger on steroids and crack. Okay? But his wrath is justified. This is a God who made the mountains, made the oceans, creates volcanoes, who creates all things. He makes the lightning strike. He creates hurricanes. And you want to take him off? Zap. The wrath of God. But he says you will be spared. The great tribulation won't bother you. Tribulation will not lead to defeat. He said you may have a momentary struggle, but it's not going to be something that will kill you. I wanted to encourage you, if you're struggling right now, to understand that small struggles, the little things in life that you all of a sudden think are huge, will not kill you. John 16:33 says, I have said these things so that you may have peace. In this world you will have tribulation, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Jesus has already won. Don't get freaked out by the small struggles. Don't freak out because you're failing a class. Don't freak out because all of a sudden that boy that you liked is not in love with you. Don't be freaked out because your hair's falling out. Don't be bothered by menial things, just small, tiny things. Because Jesus has already said, I've crushed them, I've defeated them, I've claimed victory. And not only that, he says to the people of the church of Philadelphia, he tells them they're going to be pillars, which means they will be immovable. They will be immovable. Listen, one of the things that they dealt with, I told you, was volcanoes. And so they're constantly having volcanoes and earthquakes, and the whole world shakes around them. And he says, guess what? I will plant you so deep that nothing will happen to you. That nothing will make you tremble. Psalm 62:6 says, he is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be shaken. When you trust in Christ, when the wind blows and the struggles come, you stand firm because you know where you're grounded. You know where your hope is. And he says, I will make you a pillar. I got to tell you, I've told you all these really neat things about the gifts that Jesus gives at the end. In the last couple of weeks, we talked about the white rock, which means you get to enter into the party, or you're forgiven and free. Or we talked about the new name that he gives you, which is kind of like that sweet pet name. You schnookums, like Jesus calls you schnookums. From honey bunches. He loves you. He has a relationship with you. Well, guess what? In this one he says you're going to get a new name again. He says you will be renamed. But I love what he says. He says I'm going to put another name on you. And he says the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the name of God on you. One of the coolest movies that has ever been made. Toy Story. Yeah. Amen. Yes. It is amazing. I love that movie. And how we got Woody, the crazy cowboy. Woody, you got Buzz. And on Andy's boot is what? I mean, on Woody's boot is what? Andy. I did. I blew it. Thank you. And it's like, he's mine and I'm his. It's a sign of ownership. How did Buzz know that he had finally been accepted? Had Andy written on his foot. what Jesus is saying is Jesus says, I'm going to claim you. I'm going to claim you. But listen, that may not mean a whole lot to some of you people. But let me tell you, I grew up in a house where it was just me and my mom, and my dad was not a part of my life. He wasn't very active in my life. And I struggled as a kid to find an ownership of where I belonged and who cared about me and where was my purpose. And for me to read this passage and to be in a place where I felt like nobody cared about me, where I was alone by myself, to know that Jesus looked at me and says, you're mine. I'm going to write my name on you. Now, I've been a believer now for 18 years. That almost makes me want to cry. To know that he looked at me and he says, I want you. He wanted me enough to claim you as his own. There's some repercussions to that. Because when somebody knows that you're owned by Jesus, they better see it in all you do. It's one of the hardest parts about when you get your driver's license and you're a Christian and you want to put a Christian fish in your car. And yet you drive 80 miles an hour down the 2-lane road and people go, oh, you're a Christian. If you want to mark yourself with Jesus, you better live like it. You better live like you're owned by Jesus. Not only does he put a new name on you, he gives you a new address. He puts the name of the city on you. He gives you an eternal address. Some of you military families, you had a new address every 3 years. You bounce from place to place to place to place. And you're like, I just want to find a home. Let me tell you, Jesus says, I have the perfect home for you. I have the perfect place, and it's just for you. He said, you got an address. Welcome home. It's a great feeling when you're home. And then the last part is he said, the name that nobody knows. A name that nobody knows, that's a new character in you. So 2 Corinthians tells us that when we come to know Christ, we become a new creation, a new creature. If you look at the best example of that is this ugly little worm or a caterpillar. And it goes from being this green, slimy, sometimes furry thing that you scream when you say, ah! It touched me. And it's called a caterpillar. Pre-butterfly. We don't call it a soon-to-be pretty thing. We call it caterpillar. And then it goes into the cocoon. And it stays in there for, I don't know how long. A period of time. And it comes out and it's beautiful. And you don't call it a post-caterpillar. You don't call it, hey, that used to be a caterpillar. You don't say, hey, that used to be furry and green. You call it a butterfly. And that's what he's saying to you. Is he's saying, when you're in Christ, when you're found in Christ, you've been given a new name. And you're supposed to be completely different than you were before. And Jesus tells these people, he says, when you do what I've told you to do, when you've lived like I've told you to live, and they have, they've been right on time, right on board, doing exactly what they're supposed to do. He says, when you do this, I'm going to give you a new name. I'm going to own you. And I'm going to give you a home. And right now, what some of you need to know is that God wants you. Not only does he want you, but he wants you to be with him. And he wants you to be like him. Because we think we can be owned by Jesus, but live how we want to live. We think we can inherit eternity, but just do whatever we want to do and not live according to his word. And he just tells the church of Philadelphia, hey, you guys are right where you're supposed to be. Keep it up. And so tonight I want to encourage you. I want to tell somebody, you are right where you're supposed to be. You are doing a great job. are striving for Jesus. But at the same time, I'm not dumb enough to think that all of us are doing that. I may not be the brightest crown in the box, but I'm smart enough to know that some of us will fall short. And I understand tonight that He is faithful to keep His promises to you. And the first promise He gave was He said, I love you to die for you. And He did that already. The next promise He said is, I'm coming back to claim you. Will you be ready to be claimed by Jesus? Let's pray. Father God, tonight as we come to a time of close, as we come to a time where we must decide whether or not we will be faithful to you. God, that we would be just excited about the fact we are chosen by you. And we are cherished by you. God, far too long we have ignored the call to be different. God, I pray tonight that someone will begin to live like you. And God, I thank you for those in this room that passionately pursue you every day. God, I pray that they would share that passion with someone else. God, we thank you for how you love us. An uncontrollable, passionate love. God, may that change us tonight. It's in Christ's name we pray. Amen. Would you stand and respond?